Markey Media down here in Phoenix, Arizona. And I am a Canadian citizen working and living here in Arizona. I'm planning on maybe moving back to Canada, and I'm wondering, I have a couple of questions about compliance with tax law in Canada.
Okay, I'm not sure on that whatsoever, sir. So let me give you our general inquiries number.
Okay, is this not the collections area?
This is collection. So if you have a social insurance number, I can pull up your file and see how much you owe.
Well, I don't particularly want to do that. I want to have a question answered from you guys.
Right, yeah. In terms of compliance and whatnot, like this is collections department, we set up payment arrangements. You want to speak to general inquiries.
Well, I want to talk to the people that are tasked with calling people and demanding payment.
Okay, yeah, that's my job.
Oh, okay. So just I have one quick question, but I want to clarify something first, just because I want to clarify the claim by Revenue Canada. And the claim as I see it, and please correct me if I'm wrong, the claim is that we as private sector Canadian human beings are obligated to obey a written instrument called tax law. Is that correct?
I wouldn't know for sure on that one. You're speaking about like sovereign citizens type stuff.
No. I'm not making any claims or anything. I'm just asking a question.
As a Canadian citizen, yes, you are entitled to obey the tax laws.
Okay, so just to clarify, that is the claim. We are obligated to obey a written instrument called tax law. Correct?
I'm not sure what you mean by a written instrument, but there's the tax laws, and as a Canadian citizen, you're expected to obey them, yes.
Okay, so is the tax law something other than a written instrument?
I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm not a lawyer, right? I just set up payment arrangements. If you'd like to,
well, I'm asking, like the tax law is factually a written instrument, and I'm just clarifying your claim. Your claim is that we as Canadian citizens are obligated to obey that written instrument called tax law, correct?
I'm not sure on that one, sir. Like I was saying, I'll give you the general inquiries number. You can take it up with them. Is that's your question?
If I move back to Canada and I live and work there,
yeah,
am I not obligated to obey the Canadian tax law?
Yep.
So I am obligated to obey.
It's not, yeah, if you're residing within Canada, and even if you're outside of Canada, as long as you have Canadian citizenship, yep.
Okay, so now my next question is, and it's it's just one question, and the question is, what facts does the government rely on that would prove in a court of law that we as private sector humans are obligated to obey that written instrument called tax law?
Interesting.
And I'll tell you why I ask. Well, I'll tell you why I ask. The reason I ask is I've been told my entire life, and I'm sure you have as well, I've been told by my teachers all the way back in public school that we're obligated to obey. I've been told by my parents that we're obligated to obey. I've been told by tax agents and the media and my friends that we're obligated to obey. But every time I hear this, it's just somebody else saying it. Never once in my life have I ever actually seen facts proving that we're obligated to obey. Does that make sense?
Not overly, no.
Have you ever seen facts proving you're obligated to obey a written instrument written by other human beings?
I've seen what happens if you do not obey the laws, yes.
Sure, but what happens if you don't pay the mafia?
The mafia isn't the Canadian government.
Well, then there has to be something that is different from the mafia that's forcing people to pay them and a government that's forcing people to pay them. And the difference, I would assume, is government has facts proving that they can obligate private sector human beings to obey their written instruments. All I'm asking for are the facts proving that's true.
Yeah, like I was saying, do you have a pen and paper? I'll give you a general inquiries. They'll be able to prove it, I'm sure.
Well, it was actually general inquiries that sent me to you guys.
Oh, yeah? What's the general inquiries number? So, yeah, like, this isn't to be taken up with the collections department, right? Your question is something you'd want to write to your member of parliament or something like that. You want to debate it with a higher up, right? This is not the line.
I'm definitely going to do that.
Discussion.
Yeah, and I understand.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to do that as I move forward. I'm going to keep climbing the ladder until I can find somebody that can present me the facts. Because I'll tell you why it's important. There are rules that every court in Canada has to obey. And it's based on fairness. It's based on fact and logic. Okay? Not opinions or assumptions. So when I go into court, if I put the element of applicability on the table and I demand that the prosecution, which in that case would be the Canadian government, the agency you work for, when I ask them specifically in discovery for the facts they rely on that would prove I'm obligated to obey their written instrument they're claiming I'm obligated to obey, and they fail to present those facts in court, then the case must be dismissed for lack of evidence, which means that you guys have absolutely no legitimacy. And that can't happen in court, right? So,
right. Like, I get what you're saying. You're a sovereign citizen, and this is an illegitimate...
I never made the claim I'm a sovereign citizen. I'm just a human being asking questions. I mean, I don't know where you got the idea I'm a sovereign citizen. I've never made that claim. There's only one claim.
As Canadians, we all have to support the government. We all have to do our part, and we all have to pay our taxes. Okay. If you're not looking to comply with Canadian tax law, like I was saying, I'm not the man to have this discussion with, okay? So,
right, but you are the man calling people up and demanding payment, correct?
Right.
And have you ever asked your bosses for the facts proving that what you're doing is legitimate? Or do you just assume it is for a paycheck?